Hello, Sarah. I just wanted to take some time to ask you a couple questions about your aspirations and your desires in the media study program. And my first question to you is what made you choose media studies for a degree rather than any other degree that you could have?
I actually explored a few different options when I was looking at majors. I didn't really know what I wanted to do at first, so I started with nursing and then completely changed that to journalism, then advertising, and now I landed on media study, which ended up being a perfect fit for me. I love games, I love movies, but I really never saw that as a career option. I was trying to look for something more practical. Um, but as I learned the skills, I started realizing that this is a real thing and that I could create a career out of it.
Okay. So, is there any particular field in the media studies that you would rather dive into, like maybe more of the digital artwork or maybe performance art?
I'm not so interested in performance art. I think it's interesting to see all the different types of art and options just to broaden your horizons. But as far as actually doing it myself, I'm more interested in creating digital art. I'm interested in the Maya program. I'm interested in producing video games and creating the graphic design for that as well.
Okay. So, along with the video games that you say you're interested in, is there any particular game that you would like to design or be a part of, or any ones that you play in general?
Definitely. I really have played games since, it's such a huge change from the 8-bit games until like the 3D animations that are out now. I think it's really, really interesting and cool to see all the different options, like a Borderlands cartoonish type game versus a more realistic one where they try to make everything look like perfect, like perfection. But as far as what I want to make, I paint as a hobby. I use photography as a hobby. I'm not so interested in video editing. I definitely am into the game design and also movie animation.
Okay. So, with movie animation, you talked about this Maya program. What is the Maya program, and how have you used it before?
I took a semester course on it where I learned the basics, and from there I have branched out and used it on my own, just through online tutorials. And basically, it's a program where you create every single part of an object until you create a character. Pixar uses it, movie companies use it. They use it to make just the cartoonish looking characters, but they also can make environments and actual videos off it and the 3D models. So everything there is just something I've become really interested in and skilled at doing.
Okay. With when you talked earlier about your art skills, like painting and photography and stuff, do you see like a future in the media studies with that? Would you want to use those skills to make your own video game or your own digital artwork?
Absolutely. I would definitely love to do that. I think that maybe even using paint and that form of art to create a game, I think that would be so cool. But as far as making a career out of it, I don't really like game companies. I don't think they're a good environment to work in. If I were to do anything as a game design major, I would do it as an indie game or maybe like just as a hobby and upload things to the internet, maybe make apps or other sorts of games. But as far as making it a career, that wouldn't be an option for me. I'm more interested in the films.
Okay, so with the game design, you say it's not a good environment, and why would you say that it's not such a good environment?
Just because the companies don't treat their employees um, great. Also, you work on a very, very tiny part of the game. You can't really create anything that you can see as like your own when you're working on a large game. Um, you would just work on something very, very small. I would rather be proud of seeing an accomplishment of myself from like an entire game rather than just a tiny, tiny piece of programming
Okay.
in a large game.
Yes, and so through our class, we've had a lot of people come in and present different forms of art. Now, these forms of art, have they affected your ideas towards making videos or films or even video games?
Oh, sure. I think that the performance art that we've seen is really interesting, but that's nothing I would really use to make my own games.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time.